Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wanted to talk about two homes with very heavy furniture. One was a walk-up apartment in Gaithersburg, Maryland. The woman had been active in her church, and the first time I went to the one-bedroom apartment, we met several of her church ladies who were going through her clothing and taking care of items family members wanted, who lived in the Virgin Islands and New York City. A lot of the furniture was being distributed to church members. The kitchen table and chairs were wrought iron. It was the first time I'd seen it used inside a house before. And the bedroom set was impressive and quite heavy. A 4-poster bed, armoire, and nightstands. It was a small apartment, and even though it was not much furniture, it was bulky, and the apartment looked full. Over 4 days, we worked a total of 10 hours and met with Junket Dumpet, who took away trash and also took the items that didn't go to family but were saleable to auction. Another house we did in the spring of 2011 was in Potomac, Maryland. The woman was divorced and her son had started college, so she was moving to Boston to be close to him. I thought that was a little strange, but hey, she was paying me, so we sent some things to a storage unit. Some things got shipped to Boston with the help of certified packaging. They packed antique books, electronics, and art. Some items went to Connecticut, and some items remained in the house because it was being rented a few days after we finished our work. We were told to leave in the house a weight bench, treadmill, parson's table, kitchen table and chairs, guest room furniture, and a wall unit. We were left to deal with a lot of heavy furniture. The California king bed was beautiful, but heavy. This job only took 3 days to complete, but was complicated only because the owner met me for the assessment, and when I started work there 10 days later, there were post-it notes on cupboards and furniture and piles made of small items, telling me whether the item stayed in the house, went to Boston or Connecticut, or could be sold at auction. This was a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house, so there was quite a bit to go through and pack and label the boxes so they went to the right place. I'm really glad that I found movers that worked well with me because I couldn't have carried the furniture down the stairs in the apartment complex or even down the stairs in the house. The final house was started in June of 2011 in Laurel, Maryland. A realtor I had done a lot of work with recommended me to a young lawyer. The house was a small split level. The woman who had lived there had collected many beautiful Yadro figurines along with porcelain roses, birds, Chinese jars, and miniature pewter and glass figurines. My helper and I worked there 3 days, and then we were asked to send an invoice and the attorney would have us come back later. 2 months later, I was called to go back into the house, and we spent 5 hours packing up all those small items, and a few days later, we met the auction crew from Associated Auctioneers. There were so many pieces of furniture, tools, and boxes of all those beautiful objects that it took 2 truckloads to get everything to auction. While cleaning out the house, we found $516 in cash. A lot of it was change, not paper money. I was also able to put that money against the invoice. Luckily, my bank had a heavy-duty coin counting machine. You will see in the photos that parts of the house were pretty messy. Often, if someone's health is failing, they can't keep up with the mail. We would have to look through all the mail, and sometimes if the person had been hospitalized or put into a nursing home months earlier, it was piled up just inside the front door if they had a mail slot in the door itself. Or there could be plastic bins from the post office full of mail to sort through. I imagine the attorneys leave them there for us to go through. 3/4 of the mail is usually junk mail that would get recycled, but we would have to pull out and open credit card and bank statements, utility bills, cards, and magazines for the attorney to handle. I hated those envelopes with no company names on the return address. We weren't sure if they were bank or stock account statements or junk mail, so we had to open them too. Usually it turned out to be junk. You would be surprised how long it takes to go through 3 months worth of mail. And unless the attorney has put in a change of address plus canceled the newspaper and magazines, it just keeps coming. I sometimes call the Washington Post and magazine customer service desks myself to cancel service. Unfortunately, we couldn't stop the free local community newspapers that were thrown at the bottom of the driveway once a week. Some houses would have a dozen soggy newspapers on the driveway. Even if they were put in plastic bags, the dampness gets in and the newspapers weigh about 2 pounds when wet. Imagine picking up a dozen of those. Sometimes nice neighbors who knew the homeowner would pick them up soon after the paper is delivered because a pile of them on the driveway are a good indicator that no one's living in the house. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you are interested. Also take a look at the Facebook page 800 Houses, 800 Jobs for more photos from this house.